Welcome to Marketing in Your Car, the podcast for funnel hackers everywhere. You are now part of a small group of underground entrepreneurs who are trying to change the world through the products and the services that we believe in. But because we don't rely on venture capitalists, we don't have financial safety nets. So we have to do things differently. We have to do things smarter. We do that through an art and a science that we call funnel hacking. Now, this podcast will give you a glimpse at the daily life of a funnel hacker. So let's get started. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Marketing in Your Car. It is so cold here, like insanely cold. All of the snow is now like shards of glass, and it's crazy. That was the noise if you're wondering why I was driving over the shards of glass in my car. But all right, so today I have a very special message. This one's important for everybody, including me. So, all right, so I'll tell the background of the story. So a lot of you guys know I talk about Tony Robbins a lot. He's coming to Funnel Hacking Live, but I've been a big Tony fan for forever, as long as I can remember. And the first time I met him was a really cool story. So I went to UPW. Actually, let me step back. What happened is I was at my house one day working, and all of a sudden my phone rang. I picked it up, and it was somebody on Tony's team saying, "Hey, Tony Robbins wants to meet you. Can he meet you today?" I was like, "Is he in Boise?" He's like, "No, he's in Salt Lake. Can you come over and he wants to meet you?" And I was like, I'm in Boise. He's like, "Oh, I thought you lived in Salt Lake." I'm like, "No." He's like, "Oh, crap, but that won't work then." He's like, "Well, he's going to be in Toronto next week doing UPW. Can you come and be his guest? And then he'll have a chance to meet you there." I'm like, "All right." Like, how cool is that? So I'm like, yes. So I booked my everything to go to UPW the next week, and I had never been to a Tony event. I don't know what it was. I assumed it was like an internet marketing event. So I showed up with like my backpack with my laptop, and I was going to sit in the back and, take notes. And I get there and people are jumping and dancing. And if you've been to Tony's event, it's more like, it's closer to a rock concert than a seminar. And so anyway, it was really, I was not expecting that. Like, by the end of day one, you walk on fire. Day two, I had shin splints. Day three, I lost my voice completely. Like, that's how crazy it is. So if you haven't gone yet, you should really, really go. But anyway, and at the event, the first thing he teaches this really cool concept called the 6 human needs. And I don't have time to go through all of it right now, but I need to touch on it because it's important for the next part of it. So basically, 6 human needs, there's 4 needs of the body. There's certainty, like humans want to be certain, and then there's variety, which is like you want things to be crazy. So those are 2 needs that kind of they conflict with each other, but they're both there. And then there's significance. We want to feel great about ourselves, and there's love and connection. And so I think I've done podcasts in the past about this, but I could go on it I could teach like a 2-day seminar just on that because it's so cool. And then there's needs of the spirit, which are growth and contribution, which is a whole nother thing. Anyway, again, we can go deep, but I want you to understand that there's those 4. So significance, love and connection, certainty, and variety. Those are the 4 that we have to get those things met in our life. And there's one for you, just so you guys know, there's one that's your driving force in life. You're either significance driven, you're either certainty driven, you're variety driven, or you're love and connection driven. And it's interesting. So I'm gonna leave that there. I wish I could go deeper, but we can't from this podcast because I won't make it to the office, and it'll be a long call. So anyway, so I'm at UPW, he teaches this stuff. I'm fascinated by it. And then the next day I'm supposed to meet him. And so day 2 of the event, Tony's not facilitating it. There's somebody else facilitating it. And so I started getting text messages from Tony's assistant like, "Hey, okay, Tony wants to meet with you in like an hour." I'm like, "All right." And then I get a text like 45 minutes later. It's going to be like 2 hours from now. And then anyway, throughout the whole day, it started like, I think our meeting was supposed to be at 10 in the morning. I was getting texts every 30 minutes for like 10 hours until finally just like they get pushing. And finally I get a text like, "Okay, Tony's ready to meet you. Here's the address." And this is pre-Uber. So I'm like, okay. So I jump in a taxi, give him the address, and like, this is like 45 minutes away. I'm like, "Are you serious? Is Tony not in the hotel?" Like, so I get in this car, we're driving. I'm like, I'm hoping I'm going to the right place because like this is going to be really embarrassing if yeah. So the taxi driver takes me to this hotel, drops me off. I text him, "Okay, I'm here." And then this guy texts back, his name's Jay Garrity. And Jay would just kind of put in perspective, like, so you feel my nervousness of the situation. Jay used to be the right-hand man for, I'm blanking out his name right now, for Mitt Romney when he was doing the first political campaign, and after the first time he ran for president or whatever, that he was Romney's right-hand man, and Tony hired him after that. In fact, most of Tony's team at the time were old Romney advisors, which was kind of interesting. So I get to the hotel, and Jay Garrity comes down from the elevator, and he's like very professional. The opposite of me is like, "Mr. Robbins is not ready to meet you yet. Let's just sit here in the lobby and wait." So I'm like, okay, so sitting in the lobby waiting, and it's like, almost like Secret Service. That's what it felt like. And Jay kept looking at his phone, like, no, not ready, not ready. And we probably sat there for another 45 minutes, and all of a sudden he's like, okay, Mr. Robbins, ready to meet you. We stand up, and I was like, oh, like super intense and crazy. We jump in the elevator, we go up to the floor, we start walking down this hall really, really fast, and we get to this room, and the door's open, and there's 2 security guards on both sides inside the room. I'm like, what the world? I walk through the security guards, and then all of a sudden, Tony, this giant of a man, walks in, says, Russell, welcome, and gives me a huge hug. And I'm like, what? Like, super crazy, right? And then he has me come sit down, and he's made me dinner, or someone made me dinner. And at the time, he was pure vegetarian, so it was like this dinner that was the most amazing thing in the world, and it was pure vegetarian. I was like, I could be a vegetarian if I had someone that cooked this way. It was amazing. And then he took out his recorder, clicked record on it, set it on a table, opened up a journal, and then started drilling me for an hour, asking me question after question after question. It was insane. I've never been more nervous my whole life. Drills me for an hour. Then we're done. We finish eating. We talk a little bit, and then he's like, I gotta go back to the event. So we go down. We jump in this big old Suburban. Someone was driving us, and Tony and I sat in the back, and we talked. And what was interesting is while we were talking, he was talking about a deal that he was thinking about doing with somebody in our market. I won't say their name because most of you guys would know who this person was. But he said, I don't think I'm gonna do the deal because he's very significance driven. And I was like, huh, interesting. And then after he said that, I started thinking like, first I'm like, oh man, that sucks for that guy. And then I'm like, wait, what drives me? Am I significance driven? I'm like, oh, Tony's like confused into my soul. Like, I'm freaking out. Like, what does he see about me? Like, what's driving me? Like, what? I was so paranoid and panicky, and it was crazy. And then we got to the event, and Tony's like, I gotta go. I'll call you later. Jumps out of the car, goes in the hotel, and I'm standing out in the front lobby like, huh. Like, that was the most intense, like, 3 hours of my life. It was just crazy, right? But that thing he said very significance driven. So I started like studying, like, what does that mean? And basically it comes back to like the 4 human needs, right? Like, one of those is the driver for you that drives most of the decisions in your life. And for this person, he said it was significance. And I was like, so is that, like, apparently that's bad, right? If Tony didn't want to work with this guy because he's significance driven. And I was kind of confused at first. And then a couple months later, I went to Date with Destiny. And if you go to Date with Destiny, it's like the 6-day event Tony has. And it's amazing. Like, it's like UPW times 10. In fact, I feel bad for people who only go to UPW, only get to walk on fire, because you're missing like the depth of what Tony actually has to offer. So I'm at this next event, and the events, there's so much stuff he covers. But if you look at like the biggest thing that you learn at the event is he helps you identify the 6 human needs, which one is currently your driving force. And for most people, it's either significance or it's certainty. Okay, and again, I wish we could give a couple hour talk on this because it would make more sense. But they said the quality of your life is 100% dependent upon your ability, like your ability to like the, how do I say it right? It's 100% tied to like to the need, to your driving needs, right? So like if your driving need is significance, like that's going to make you miserable. Whereas if your driving need is love and connection, the opposite, then you're going to have a great life. And then the same thing opposite. If your driving need is certainty, while it's important, it's a need that we have. If that's the driving force in your life, you always have to be certain about everything, like you're going to be miserable. And so like it was basically help you identify what is your current driving need, and then learning how to shift that to the other thing. So if you're significance driven, teaching how to be love and connection driven. If you are certainty driven, shifting it to variety, because the quality of your life is going to be completely dependent upon your ability to have variety and love and connection. Like that's what gives you a good quality life, not the other two. But most people, it's these other things that drive them. And that's what's interesting. I was listening to that and I was like, man, and for me, like I'm, and I think most entrepreneurs, but I'm definitely heavily driven by significance. Like in fact, now that I'm so aware of it, like I hate it. In fact, in the world I work in, but majority of the people I work with, the reason why they are in the guru business or whatever is because they're very significance driven. And that's why I always hear people like, you get to know who these people are, and you don't actually like them because they're driven by this thing. And no one knows no one calls it this, but it's because they're driven by significance. And I've been doing a deal with a person, someone who I highly, highly, highly respected. And as I've done this deal, like I've never met a human being on planet Earth more significance driven than this person. And it's completely ruined the deal. It's ruined like the relationship. So much so where like, this is someone like I idolize. Like this is someone that if you had told me 5 years ago that I'd have a chance to talk to him, I wouldn't have believed it. And now, like, I'm avoiding their texts, their phone calls, like one of the most annoying human beings on earth, because of significance is such a driving, like, the only thing this person can see is significance. Like, everything is tied to his personal significance, and it's like destroying him. I've looked at his business, the people around him, like, he's destroyed everything because he's so significance driven. Yet the person's still brilliant, but like a miserable life. I can't imagine it. And so for me, like, and I have this struggle because it's a constant thing for me, and I'm sure for a lot of us, the significance drives us. Like, we feel that. That's why we're entrepreneurs. That's why we're out there. Why we want to be on stage. Why we write books. But because I'm aware, like, I try to check that all the time, because, like, I hate it. That's the thing. I actually hate that about myself. I hate that I'm significance driven. When people, like, give me good compliments, like, I thrive off that. I love that. But then, like, after I feel that, like, I almost, like, it bugs me, because I'm like, no, I love that, but, like, I can't, and I shouldn't be significance driven. Like, it's not a good quality of life. Like, I need to be driven by love and connection, by variety, by these other things that actually increase the quality of your life. Because significance is all about, like, look how great I am, and it makes you feel good, but it doesn't help anybody else. Like, the love and connection is that's where you're using your power, your tools, your gifts, in a more meaningful way. And so I know for you guys, I just wanted to kind of share some of that in a 10-minute message. I know I wish I could go so much deeper, but start thinking about stuff like what is it that drives you? If your personal significance is the driving force for you, like, I'd recommend stepping back from that. And it's always going to be that, like, but being aware of it and, like, man, like, am I just doing this for significance to make me feel better? And if that's the main reason why you're doing something, like, it's the wrong reason. If the reason is because you really care about people and you're trying to give them something and you have this love and connection towards them, it's just a better way to live. And I think people will see it and they'll notice it. I hope people notice that for me. Like, I despite the fact that it's a constant, like, thing that's there in front of me all the time, and I'm constantly trying to check it and put it in the back and default to the love and connection, these other things, because I know what's important and what actually helps other people, not just your own ego. Ego is the enemy. I haven't read the book yet. I bought it and I bought the Audible. There's a book called Ego is the Enemy. I'm excited to read it, because I think that's what holds most of us back from true love and connection, from happiness, from growth, from all the other things we want. I feel like our ego, the significance we're craving, is what holds us back from that. And if we are aware of that, at least you can do something about it. I wasn't aware of it. I look at my career, the first 5 or 6 years of my business prior to meeting Tony, I was not aware of it, and it drove me, and it hurt my marriage, it hurt my family life, hurt my relationship with friends. Like, there were a lot of issues. And again, I'm so far from perfect. I still do things because of significance, like, and I hate it, but I'm aware of it now, and I try to not make decisions based on that. I try to make decisions based on love and connection. Like, how will this help others, as opposed to how does this put me on a pedestal? And it's been good. It's been really good. And the relationships that have come from it because of that, and I think our ability to affect change in people's lives have been tenfold. And the interesting thing, this is the craziest thing about it, is I have tried to push away significance and focus on love and connection, I have become more relevant. And it's actually, it's weird. Like, I've gotten significance by not going after it. It's weird. And I say, this person I'm dealing with, this person, despite the fact that they're brilliant, they're no longer relevant in our market, which is insane based on who they are and what they've accomplished, what they've done. But there's no relevancy, and it's because they've been driving and chasing after significance for so long, they've completely destroyed all their relationships. Their market knows that it's all about them. Like, they've destroyed what they sought after. They've lost all significance because they've been seeking after it. It's so weird. Whereas if you don't, and you seek love and connection, you seek that change in other people, you seek that, you will get the significance you're trying to get as a byproduct of it. It's so fascinating. Anyway, so hope that helps somebody out there. It's definitely helping me and being more aware of it as I'm watching it unfolding before me. If you want to be, if you want those things, that's kind of the workaround. So hope that helps you guys. The office is working. I will talk to you all again soon. Bye, everybody. Thanks so much for listening. We hope you enjoyed the behind-the-scenes look at our funnel hacking project. You can also watch the Funnel Hacker online reality show and watch us build and launch funnels live at www.funnelhacker.tv.
If you'd like to come hang out with your fellow funnel hackers, come join our Facebook group at www.projectclickfunnels.com. Oh yeah, and don't forget, you can get a free MP3 player with the first 257 episodes preloaded at marketinginyourcar.com. Join us next time, and remember, you're just one funnel away from your dreams.